Hi, Megan.
Hey, Devon.
Great to see you. And hello to our listeners. Welcome back to another episode of Hockey Style with Devon and Megan. If you're new here, welcome. This is our podcast about all things hockey style, literal style, but of course, also sharing the stories of the people behind the scenes who help shape the style of their team, their arena, or their franchise. We have 3 periods every week. The first period, you hear from us. The second period, we welcome in an industry guest. In the third period, if you make it that far, you get to hear a little style tip. So we hope you will. So, Megan, we actually had some things happen this week. Not a lot. It is the beginning of September.
I don't even know if I would qualify them as things. They're just things that we can mention.
I
Just
know, true. And not actual human movement, paperwork movement.
yeah, pretty much.
So, you probably know what we're alluding to, but Montreal Canadiens, after much speculation, did move the remainder of Carey Price's contract to San Jose. Um, Carey Price is a legendary Montreal Canadian. So it was really just a chance in a positive light for people across the internet to share stories, photos, videos of Carey Price. And he got some amazing shout outs. And I had fun going down a Carey Price rabbit hole watching some of
Mm-hmm.
his incredible plays.
For sure.
Also, we are a fan of Carrie Price's wife, Angela Price, because she is one of the two designers and owners of Line Change Co., the female sports apparel brand, and she partners with Julie Petrie, Jeff Petrie's wife. So,
Very
shout out.
fun.
Yeah, we love Line Change. Whenever we get it in
Mm-hmm.
the store, we're like rushing to to find it. It sells out fast.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing, sort of also related to Carey Price, on a sad note, Ken Dryden, legendary Montreal Canadian goalie, did pass away this week. So our hearts are with his family, and I know he actually meant a lot to Carey Price as well. So lots of news coming from Montreal, but we're thinking of the Drydens.
Yeah.
Moving to our second period guest, we're so excited to introduce you to Nick Harrington, who is one of the three co hosts of Hockeytown West podcast. He is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to all things Grand Rapids Griffins, but also Toledo Walleye.
Yeah. And if you're already listening to his podcast, as you might be as a hockey fan, we got the opportunity to kind of get a little Griffins chat in with him, which is something that we don't normally get to do. So it's super fun and interesting. Just little insights into those Griffins players that we wish we got to see more of.
You got me excited to go to my first Griffins game, Megan, because I had never been. And you kept talking about how it's a vibe
That's
there.
amazing.
And you were right. It is so much fun in the more intimate arena of Van Andel. It's a beautiful facility, but every seat is such a good seat. So I'm excited. We'll be heading back there in a few short weeks to see the red and white game.
Hmm.
All right. Let us introduce you to Nick, who we're connecting with live for the first time officially on today's episode. But funny enough, we actually did meet him at an event. It might have been training camp last year. So let's kick it off with Nick.
Let's do it.
Hi, Nick. Welcome to the second period.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Thank you for taking time because you do this yourself every week as a podcast co host. So you're doing double duty this week. We appreciate it.
Sometimes it's like 4 episodes a week, but yeah, it's not a not a problem at all. And happy to be on. And it's been fun syncing up with you guys, and I'm excited to sync up with you guys some more throughout the season.
It certainly has. You are so kind because you actually reached out to us over Instagram and said, "Hey, I know you." And that happens all the time in the Red Wings world. Like we all end up seeing each other at events and you recognize those folks that are always there. But it was so nice to have your support as an established podcast as ours is just kind of getting up and running. So we felt very welcomed to the world of hockey podcasting in the greater Michigan community.
I don't know. I wouldn't say if we're established. I would say
You are. You
uh,
are.
We're now going on to, I think, year 3. I think we figured out 3, third full season, and we did half a season
Wow.
when we started out. But yeah, it's crazy. The community is it's not that big, really, as big as all the other groups are, but it's it's good to have everybody together, I feel, this year.
Yeah. Have you met a lot of the other hosts of the Red Wings, Griffins, and Walleye podcasts?
There's only one walleye one, which is us. So
Nice.
I met Travis
Travis,
in real
right?
life. We actually met through Twitter. So he reached out
Very
through
cool.
Twitter, and that's how he got on the show. And then Greg from Grindline, I've met him in real life. I met Ryan as well. And then Wing Wheel Podcast, I met all three of those. Oh, did we meet all three? Yeah, we met all three of them when they came out to GR. And I met you
Very cool.
guys, but not
Yes.
like not formally, but I've seen you
Yeah.
guys. And then
Not
who
in
else is out there?
context. I don't think we realized who we
Yeah.
were. We probably like chit chatted at training camp, but yeah.
Well, then as many times as you do this too, like you go to the games and then people kind of recognize you and you're like, well, who are they? And then they
Yeah,
come in, they start talking, and so that it's they know you before you know them, kind of thing. So
totally.
but yeah, I feel like I've met a few. I'm trying to think of who I really haven't. I mean, the community is so small, and like even Brian Fisher on Lockdown, I've met him as well. So
Yes.
he's come out. So anytime you're out in media for GR, like we typically will run into each other down either up in press row or down in the media scrum. So and
Love
then
it.
we usually go out to eat after and have some beers or some drinks, some ginger ales. Is that right?
Perfect.
Love
Yeah,
that.
we say ginger ales for Mickey Redmond. You can
Yeah,
either have a real one or, a ginger ale.
a
Um,
ginger ale. So yeah.
I also met Brian Fisher, and it was one of those times where Megan's face said it all because we were in the team store at Little Caesars Arena, and he was just trying to be a normal guy buying a hockey stick. And I was like, oh, Brian, I
'Cause I
listened
like
to you
knew him
every
before
week.
that. I knew him before he did everything. Like I just knew him from the team stories, Brian. So I'm
Oh,
like,
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so she was so sweet and like he took a picture with me and him like he was a local celebrity. I think he liked it. I think he
It's
liked
I
being
hope
a
he did.
celebrity.
It is cool to be recognized. I'll say that. Like when we're in Toledo, people come up to us all the time and they're like, "Hey, like the podcast is so awesome. Thanks for doing that. Like we listen to it all the time. Like it's super cool. To do it. And then it's weird too, though. At the same point, right?
Yeah, for sure. But you do have a very well thought out, well designed podcast because you're a specialist in all things Hockeytown West, aptly named, but you really know the Griffins inside and out. And Travis was a phenomenal addition with his Toledo Walleye knowledge. But the three of you blend like with your subject matter expertise. And that's why we thought you would be such a great fit to come on our podcast because our whole goal is to connect, which obviously you helped us do, and then to shine a light on the stories of the people who are as hockey obsessed as we are, but a little more behind the scenes. And so you fit the bill. So, can you tell us a little bit, Nick, about your own personal background? I know you're normally interviewing, but now you get to be the interviewee. How did you get involved in hockey? Why do you love it?
Yeah. So it's this is probably gonna crush my credibility right away. But I don't know how to skate. Never skated.
Really?
My dad played hockey when he was in high school, and he played football too. But we grew up watching the Wings, in
Mhm.
the 90s. I'm a 90s baby, and the Wings were so good. And growing up watching Nick Lidstrom, that was my guy. That was my player. Played
Yeah.
defense, played it sound. I played soccer growing up.
Did you?
It was cheap. It was affordable. We were able to do it as a family of 4. So we were out there playing soccer, and I just try to emulate Nick Lidstrom, as like being in the perfect spot, doing the passes, providing a little bit of offense here and there. And so I grew up doing that. My dad would take us to games. We're from the Flint area, so we would go to the Flint Generals. They were good at the time too, and so you get there. We just had the interview with Bob Kaiser, and he was telling us his first game going in, just hockey brawls. Was like that's what hooked
Yeah.
him. And I'm like, you know what? That's exactly what it was for me. Is like you go to a hockey game. You go to a brawl and a hockey game. Pull comes out right. So it was just more of that of like everybody had a face-off circle. Everybody's throwing punches. It's just crazy excitement. So like that's kind of like the hook that got me watching it on the games with my dad. watching the Wings go all the way to like the finals multiple times, and then getting into the playoffs and then going to our own home team and watching them. So it kind of grew over the while, and then, playing the video games growing up, like playing those, and then the lockouts really crushed it. We had
Yeah.
2 lockouts, kind of got away from the game, life got crazy. And then, I moved to Grand Rapids, and, Brad and I, we were working together. We worked together in the
Oh,
same company. That's how we met. And, one season we're like, you know what? I was like, I got season tickets. Let's, at that point I was single. So I was like hoping to bring a girl with me, and I had to settle for Brandon. Kind of decent looking, but, so we get going through the season, and it was a terrible season. It was terrible. It was Ben Simon's last year. It was a year you want to just kind of throw yourself off the parking garage. I don't know if I can
oh,
say that, but yeah, it was a tough season. It was a very tough season.
oh,
And halfway through, I'm like, you know what, Brandon, you and I, we're at Uccello's probably every Thursday watching the Wings, talking, looking at the prospects, looking how the rebuild looks. I go, we're going to these games. We should just create a podcast. And he's like, no. So I pushed him again on like a month later. No. And then I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna start creating stuff. Like, I'm the
there you
idea
go.
guy. So I just started putting everything together. I was like, here you go, Raiden. Here's where we're at. All right, let me look at this a little bit more. That's how Hockeytown West and my kind of involvement started, and where we're at. I don't know if we're really put together as most see them. I feel like we're still trying to like figure out our footing. 1 year of just being crazy chaos of me, which I love. And then year 2 of media was just very different. And so year 3, we're kind of like ready to kind of get back to where we were at, I think, is the chaos, the the more loose, the more fun. Media, we felt like we had to really be, we were working more closer with the teams. We had to be a different way. So
Yeah,
I'm very excited for this upcoming season.
that's awesome. You mentioned you started as a soccer player, which should not be underestimated by any of our diehard hockey fans, which, if you're listening, you likely are. I just saw a quick snippet of an interview with Sidney Crosby, and they were talking about how hard his shot has been in the miles per hour of some of the record breaking shots. And I want to say, I'll probably misquote it, but hockey shots have been up to like 110 miles an hour, right? So the only thing that was faster out of every sport in like throwing footballs, basketballs, all of it was a soccer ball kick. And
No
Sidney
way.
Crosby, like way faster. And he was like, soccer goalies are insane, man. Like it was like 150 miles and 160 miles an hour. Don't quote me, we'll look it up, but it was like significantly faster. So there's, soccer players are still badass.
It's crazy. 150. I didn't realize. I guess
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I mean, we played indoor as kids, so it kind of translated a little bit to hockey of using the boards and using the faster pace of the game. So
Yep.
that's crazy. 150. I guess I never would have
Yep.
thought about that.
Yep,
So
I just learned that myself. But yes, I always say to my friends who are not hockey people, like if you like soccer, you'll like it. It's fast paced. The positions are somewhat similar.
yeah.
Anyway, so glad it translated to your hockey expertise because we have enjoyed learning about your pod and checking it out. We just really understood what your flow was when you added Travis, because I think you said originally season 2 was just Griffins, right? And now did you cover Walleye again at that point, or?
So we were when we started, we were a little bit more ambitious than what we could do. We covered Grand Rapids because we were here, right? And so
Mhm.
that made sense. And then we covered Toledo because Costa was there.
Got
And
it.
that season with Grand Rapids, we were moving players back and forth a lot.
Mhm.
Players were coming up from Toledo, people were coming down from Toledo. It was just, I think that season too, we ended with like 8 different goalies by the end of the year.
Yep.
So we were covering them. And then I was also driving back to Flint every weekend to watch Ammo when he was there. And so we were
Wow.
covering Flint during that rise as well. And so it was like 3 teams at once, too much for 2 of us. If you go back to like the
Yeah.
original episodes, we're literally sitting in like the lawn chairs and we're sitting and we're going through paper notebook of like we're reading off stat sheets and things like that. That's in Brandon's apartment with one mic. That's
Wow.
how we started. So
Really? Very, but you did it. You made it happen.
yeah, now
And to
we've
say you
built
were
it
in
bigger.
Flint watching Ammo have those record-breaking seasons is pretty darn cool.
Yeah, we were covering them and like Saginaw and their playoff like thing, and now we're kind of toying with some ideas for this season. Which at this point, I'm like, we gotta, Brandon, that's too much work. We gotta add another person at this point. So, DMs are open if anybody's out there.
Well, it worked out. I was wondering how you do it though, because you really do know your stuff, and it's both teams that you're covering. So, does it help that you see players moving between the Walleye and the Griffins, or do you really look at them more isolated in terms of how you analyze the gameplay and report back?
For us, like having Travis it was such a good fit for us. Him reaching out, he's like, "Hey, do you guys have boots on the ground in Toledo?" It was literally his message. I was like, "No." And he's like, "Oh, what if I could just guys give you guys intel and you guys just did it?" I was like, "Okay." So we did that for like a month. I was like, "You know what? I don't feel right doing this." So we added Travis, and Travis went on, and he, we had to kind of break him open a little bit because he's kind of quiet. You had to know him, and he plays currently, and he's been watching. He's been a season ticket for a long time, and he's just all these connections in Toledo. Like you can't call him the mayor, but we call him Friedman in our group. Like he is on the phones, reaching out. He get people. He's got like everybody's number in Toledo system, and they've treated him so well down there, and he's just a good portion of us. So with us, like between like Carson Bantle was a good example of coming up and down last year. He plays the same game in both routes. And so it was easy for us to like turn around, watch him in Toledo or watch him in GR. And we're like, all right, Trav, watch this guy. He's going to be crazy down there, or, vice versa. But I feel we didn't have that many people who this year transfer back and forth.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah. It was pretty established.
I think it was only like Carson Bantle. I think Hunter Johannes moved back and forth. Skylander, one game, and then I think that was it. I feel like that was it. There wasn't a whole lot of people. There should have been more. We wish there was more. We just didn't get a whole lot of help from Detroit throughout the season. So it
We
was
needed help.
tougher.
Yeah,
Ooh,
we needed
Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We needed help too. At one point, like I remember we only dressed 3, 6, 9. We dressed 12 forwards. That was all we had. And we had like 7 defensemen. And we're like, Waddy's like frustrated. You could tell. He's like, this is all I got. Like, we got nobody.
Yeah. It seemed like especially that one year with Kosa you were talking about, like there was somebody on a PTO like every other day. It's like, hey, come try. Let's see how you do.
Wow.
It was like there was an ad in the paper, I feel. I'm
Yeah,
kidding,
yeah.
but like I'm like, what was going on with this organization and goalies? Because it was like the first year I was actually covered GR. Because like before that, I was just like, yeah, let's just do season tickets. I have the time, I have the money at that time. So it was just like, let's just do it. And I like waking up and like seeing this, I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, what is going on with this organization? Like, we have nobody. So it's interesting. It's interesting.
So how did you get involved in media? How did that change when you signed up for that gig?
Yeah, so media was never on our radar. We never planned on doing media. We never thought we're not media. If you're from the Griffins, don't listen to this. We are not media people. Like I think that was the biggest struggle for us last year, is that we are not media trained. We didn't go to school for media. We didn't go to school for journalism. We didn't go to school for those things. Like I went to school for psychology. And coaching.
It's gotta help when you're talking to players.
Yeah, like that's what we went to school for. So we reached out. We were good friends with Andrew Rinaldi, who is featured on Locked On. He also writes, I don't know who he's writing for anymore. And then Elaine Grace, and then Tyler Cool for MLive, formerly of MLive. He was writing, and Brandon's known Tyler for a very long time. And so he was just like, okay, here's kind of the steps of doing media and getting up there. And so we applied, and there within a week before the season started, we reached out, and they said, yep, you guys are welcome up, and we love the coverage, and we love what you guys are doing. So you guys can come up. And so
Wow.
that's how it started. And then it's, first night, this is a funny story. My first night, Brandon leaves me. He's in Colorado. So I am more of the anxious type of person. So I'm down there and I'm like kind of freaking out because I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know how to do this. Like
In the press area?
in the press area. And then after the game, you go downstairs and you go into the locker room and then you ask the questions to the guys. So they give you they give you like the last 5 minutes of the game. They'll tell you, all right, who do you want? You can request for anybody. And so I'm like, I don't know. And I'm like, luckily Rinaldi was there to help me. And so, cause he's like, I've been here for all this time. I can do this. I can help you out, Nick. Like, cool. So he goes, I can't remember who he got. It may have just been Marco Casper at that point. So we go down to the locker room. We're sitting there and we see on the other side of the door of the locker room is Steve Yzerman. And I'm just like, oh, that is like my child, like my other idol. Like it was Lidstrom and then Yzerman. Like that's the guy. And Rinaldi's standing. I'll send you the picture. Rinaldi's standing there. And I take a picture of Steve Yzerman in the background, which is like risking it all, night one of my whole credentials and everything. Rinaldi's like, if you get caught, you're probably not going to be able to come back. You probably ruined it for yourself for the whole season. We get in there into the media scrum. I think there was just like two of us. It was three of us. And I asked Marco some questions, but they were like terribly worded questions, and we lost all the audio of it.
Oh no!
And it was his only game at GR because he only played the one home game, and then I think they were two away. Yeah, then he called up the rest of the season, so we never got another chance to talk with Marco Casper. But super funny first night. But that's me. That's chaos. It is what it is. So.
And I think part of the reason you guys are so good and enjoyable to listen to is that you're fans first. So I would have been right there with you snapping a secret photo of Yzerman, and Megan would have been like, "No, Devin."
You're not supposed
to. Not look at him.
Yeah, it's hard. Like he brings an aura. Like when you're up there, at least for me, like when you're up in press row and he's up there, it's like, okay, you kind of leave him alone, you let him do his thing. But they also have snacks up there too. So like they have a whole popcorn bucket and like water and like man, I really want some popcorn. I gotta push Steve away a little bit to be able to get what I want. I'm like, how do I do this? I'll tell you a story too. So one of the times I went as a fan, because I had season tickets last year too. So I get in there. Brandon comes down. We meet at intermission. We talk. We chat. We do whatever. He goes back and he goes, you won't believe who was in the elevator. And I go, what? Who? And he goes, it was Bob Kaiser. Okay, like we see Bob all the time, like whatever. He goes, and he was talking with Steve Yzerman. So it's just the three of them in the elevator. And I'm like, you need me to go home and get you some pants or what? Like, how you doing, buddy?
He literally got to be the fly on the wall. Like, right? Priceless elevator ride.
And they were asking some interesting questions, and I'm like, "What did you say, Brandon? Like, what did you?" And he goes, "I said, hey, Steve," and that was it.
Yeah,
smart. So, and that intel I can't share, but it was pretty good intel that we had to kind of keep under wraps. But unfortunately, like what they were talking about wasn't able to proceed, I guess.
I can't believe they were just talking about it in the elevator. Like how awesome.
It was about a player trying to get called up and like what happened, and then they ended up going with a different player at the time. And so I think I don't think anybody can trace that back.
Very cool. So you're done with media at this point now, you think? Or are you going to continue it another year?
Oh, no. We're going back for year two.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll be back up there. We're still doing post-game interviews. So we'll be posting those. We post those on all of our socials.
Awesome.
And so, we'll be doing that. And then I just feel like this year it'll be more we're settled in more, right? Like we know the ropes a little bit more. At first it's like daunting because you're like, you never know when you start these things, right? You start a podcast, you're like, how far can this? Nobody's going to listen to us, right? That's probably your first thoughts, right?
Absolutely.
Like 10 people. Holy crap. Okay. And then you get to 20 and then you're like, wow, that's crazy. And then it's like, you build up and then you're like, okay, now you're sitting here and you're talking with Amadeus Lombardi. And it's like, holy crap. Or Sebastian Costa, like some of the guys or you're standing there with Steve Yzerman. it gets to that point where like, pinch me. It's crazy. Like you have this thought and then it transforms into this huge idea and you're able to kind of execute on it. And it's just something that we never thought would be there ever.
Yeah.
Like no
Yeah.
idea.
Well, you
So
clearly did a good job with media, even though you didn't feel like you had proper training. They wouldn't have you back if you didn't nail it. So
that's all
I
on
thought when
Brandon.
yeah, well, Brandon does a good job, but you said
Yeah.
you wanted to get back to your roots a little bit, and so do you feel like it's just finding that balance of talking as a fan, being the media professional? What's your secret sauce?
Yeah, so it's tough because you can't come on a podcast and because the players do listen to at least our players listen to it. Like we've talked to down in Toledo, we've talked to those guys. They love us. They listen to it. They know it. So you
Awesome.
can't sit here and bash Tyler Spezia
No.
because he listens to it. Like and whatever if you're gonna say something, it's gonna get back to the players. It
Yeah.
100% does. So you have to find that right balance of saying it in a way, right, where it's, hey, like we've called out Hawkins before. Brandon Hawkins, MVP of the league 2 years in a row, hasn't been done in like I think 30 years or never done before. And like we can chirp him because we have that relationship with him, and we say, "Hey, Hawk, you played like shit tonight." He goes, "Yeah, I did." I don't know if I can swear out here, but
We'll give you an E. It's okay.
like you played like crap tonight, Hawk, and he's like, "I did. I take full responsibility. I should have did this better." Like he can own it. Different to say Austin Watson, you go up to him and you're trying to, it's a little different feel. So you have to find that balance. And that was hard for us because we are fans at heart, right?
Yes.
And we weren't ever planning on being media. It ended up being that. So
yeah, when you were not officially podcasting at the bar after the games with your buddy and no mic, you could just really let loose, right? So that's kind of our rule too, Megan, right? Like we I went ahead and admitted out loud that I am not the biggest Ottawa Senators fan, but we never call anybody out as to why or name drop. And then of course we let our husbands come on the pod, and then all heck breaks loose because they just start talking like how they feel. And I'm like, guys, we're on the pod.
yeah,
the only team that I say anything bad about is the Wings.
Yes, that's true. Yes.
And it's only just don't get your hopes up. That's all. Like, let's not get too excited.
Yeah, it's tough with the Wings.
Yeah. We need a second episode to go dissect that, Nick.
Yeah. Part 2 coming soon.
I know. That's why we're actually excited to talk more AHL this year and find other exciting stories. I'm hopeful the Wings will have some success with under a full year of McClellan and getting to implement his strategies right from training camp. But it looks like the players on the board, the chess pieces, if you will, may not be the recipe that we thought we would have. So we'll see what happens.
Not yet. And that's why I love the position we're in, is because we're in the middle. Like, the Red Wings, you have us, and then Toledo.
The mushy middle.
Yeah. Well, that aspect too, but just as an organization, like we're covering the middle of the organization. So we're like, we could see the future and where it's heading, and we could see what's coming up as well. So we could see the rear view and the front of what's going on in our past. So it's what's exciting about GR, right? Like we won't always have these prospects. We understand that, but even when we don't, like we're still hopefully good, right? But we could see what's coming, and based off the contracts and everything else and the players coming in, it's exciting. It's very exciting. It's just we got to get through it, right?
Right. Well, and the Walleye are notoriously really good. So I mean, what are your thoughts on where that stands now? Because they've built a name for themselves.
The Walleye are fantastic. I love the vibes in Toledo. We were talking off air through Instagram. Is like you if you haven't been to a Walleye game, you have to go to a Walleye game. It's not far from Detroit. It's a crazy drive from GR, but it is fantastic. It's like $25 or so for a ticket, but you get an NHL experience. The entertainment side is top notch. It literally rivals some of the AHL games I've been to. I mean, it's right there with the NHL. That the community, the environment, the atmosphere, the culture, like all of it it's top notch. Like people will like, if you love hockey, go to a you have to go to a Toledo game. I know people might diss on it because it's the coast, but like I love the coast, I love the juniors, I love college, like I love those atmospheres. And that's what we wanted to bring to GR. Like that was kind of like one of our goals as a podcast, is like get that environment over here. Toledo is, you've got Derek Lalone, who came through Toledo, coach there, built a great program. We've been covering the Storm guys from the past when they won the cup. Those interviews are absolutely hilarious. This was before social media, so the stories that they are telling us now are just, we're dying laughing throughout them. So
they're
like
thinking, thank goodness there was no social media back then.
yeah, some people probably would have been in a lot of trouble, but so the story has been good. The Walleye have been good since Derek Lalone, because then you had Dan Watson take over from him, and then you've got Pat Minkish, who's just picked up the reins as well. They just finished in June. They went to the finals. They just consistently good, and that league is so hard. Like I give props to the coaches. Like Pat has to build a new team every year. He literally starts from scratch and builds a whole new one. He gets a piece or two from Detroit, but that's it. So, and then he has always got Hawkins. Hawkins would sign a 30-year deal if he could, but the restrictions in that league is a 1-year deal is all they get. But it's fantastic. It's crazy how they're able to stay so good for so long. And it's just the culture, it's the core that they keep together as they continue to carry that through. They might lose a piece here or there, but then they gain another from another team. So it's good. This team this year is going to be built very differently from years past. So it'll be interesting to see how they do. I'm very nervous. And I'll leave it at that. Travis is going to be the expert on the Walleye side.
I'm officially closer to Toledo than I am Detroit. So I've only ever been to one Walleye game. So I'm looking forward to heading down for some more. I'm pretty excited. We might fully defect next season. Who knows? We might be Walleye season ticket holders. I don't know.
It's so hard though, because they sell out. They're on like a 92 game sellout streak.
I'm already on the list just in case.
Yeah, it's a vibe. It's so cool to be down there though. Like every time I'm down there, we always walk away just blown away by the community and like by the fans and like just the organization too. The organization treats their players so well. It's an NHL ran organization. It really is. Like it's like Chaz said it best himself. We had just had Chaz Redicop on. He was a player, just transitioned to coaching, but halfway through the year, he had a concussion. And he got taken care of by everybody in the organization, was like making sure he was checking in, making sure everything. He was, I wouldn't have got that support or anything from anybody else in the league. Like Toledo did it well. And I was just like, wow, like just how well they took care of him was just mind blowing to me. I was like, that's fantastic. So
I love to hear that. And certainly their on ice hype is equivalent to some NHL franchises I've seen. The smoke filled walleye fish that they skate out of is really quite impressive. I'm dying to go see it in person. So compared to, because I actually have not been to a Toledo Walleye game, but I am a huge fan of the way y'all do it up in Van Andel for the Griffins. That is also a vibe and just so much excitement. Every seat's a good seat. You can just feel like the energy. How would you compare those experiences?
Yeah. Let me think of how to word this. I love Toledo. I love going to Toledo. I just hate the drive back. It's it's a 3-hour drive there, 3-hour drive back with the construction and everything. It's so tough. GR,
3 hours.
Yeah. It's usually we're leaving at like 2 a.m. Or like 12 o'clock, between 12 and 1 o'clock in the morning. GR, I feel it's different. It's very different. I feel like a lot of the fan base here, like people will line up at Toledo at 8 a.m. for the bobblehead giveaway at night.
Wow. I thought we were nuts, Megan.
Yeah, there's literally like a 200-person line, and they'll sell those like you could find those bobbleheads or whatever it is that give away. You could find them on eBay for 150, $200. Like
Yeah.
that community is crazy. There's a resale market for tickets for memorabilia all over. It's absolutely insane. Like we don't have opening game tickets for Toledo.
Wow. Okay.
Like we have to pull some strings and buy them third party because they're just not available.
Wow.
So press box, like there isn't a press box in Toledo. We sit in the seats, which is fine. It's just hard to get a seats is the problem.
Mhm.
GR, you could always seem to find seats. We do hold the higher attendance in the league, but you could always find seats. The $2 beer, $2 hot dogs is always good, a good night to come out. And the biggest thing that draws people, it's the prospects. It really
Yes.
is at this point, unless you're a 30-year season ticket member, or you've been here for so long, like that's gravitating those folks there to those games.
So you're saying if I thought GR was a vibe and had energy, I gotta go to Toledo.
Oh
This is
yeah.
gonna be an experience.
Yeah, you gotta go to Toledo. And then tell me like exactly how it went. How your experience was. I'd be looking forward to hear that. I'll sync you up with Travis while he's down there because he's a
That'd
season
be
ticket
fun.
holder too. So he'll show you around. He'll introduce you to some folks.
That would be fun. Megan, I wonder how my dad kept getting tickets. He went, to your point, he's a great case study. An older gentleman, grew up loving hockey, went to his first Toledo Walleye game the beginning of last season and was hooked. Like, pun. I did that by accident. He kept going back. He went with a buddy. He drove down a couple of times from the Metro Detroit area. Well, now he's a little closer, but anyway, loved it. So yeah, he's got the jersey and everything now.
And there's typically a Red Wings draft pick in there or a Red Wings prospect or somebody that's, going to make its way through, like we didn't think we were going to cover Toledo long. I'll be honest. Like when we started, it was Cosa's there. So we're going to cover this one and we'll
Yeah.
cover Flint because Ammo's there. And then, we dropped Flint and then we just love Toledo so much that we're like, it just makes sense to cover both at this point. And we have the bandwidth to do it because of Travis. So,
Yep.
yeah, it's literally, I don't know why more people don't. I feel like they get slighted because they're the younger brother, right, of
Yeah.
the organization. But I feel like there does need to be a little bit more eyes on it, especially how many times they've gone, like they went to the finals. No podcast except for us was talking about it. And that's a Detroit Red Wings organization. Like that's still big. That's still huge. So, as well, whatever we can do to put more eyes on Toledo, like it helps. I feel.
Yeah. Well, they're killing it with specialty jerseys, I must say. I wish I had gotten my hands on one of those Scooby-Doo jerseys. Pretty epic.
That's how I selected the game I went to. It was, I don't know if they'd ever done it before, but it was the zombie game. So they came out normal, then they were infected, and then they had the final zombie jersey in the third period. So, I mean, it was so good.
That one's sick. That's sick.
It's almost like a Broadway production. I mean, they're changing and getting more zombie-fied.
They were. It was
Unreal.
great.
The other game I'm dying to go to is the dog-friendly game. Do they still do that? Do you know?
For GR or for Toledo?
Toledo.
That I don't know. I don't.
I gotta look into that. I really want to bring my crazy dog fans who I call them dog super fans, but they go to all the away games with us, to the market, obviously not to the game. So they have little Red Wings away jerseys that I dress them in. So I'm we got to get them to an actual game so I can say they've met Kosa. Kosa's pet them.
I know GR does a dog game. It's usually later. Yeah, they usually do it. It's later in the spring, but they usually do a dog game. I have to check to see what time it is.
That. Okay, maybe that'll be the one this year then that we do. Megan, you've had some good, fun experiences in GR too. What were some of your favorite Grand Rapids memories?
I feel like I haven't gotten out there as much as I'd like to, but there was a point once everything got going back after COVID, I had a cardboard cutout in the GR arena and I went to a game. So my dumb face was in the arena in 2 spots, which I thought was really funny.
I thought it was funny because for a long time I would see pictures and stuff of your house because she has an insane collection and had like redone her basement to look essentially like a beautiful locker room. And so, of course, I'm always like, show me a picture of this, show me a picture of that. And I would see Megan's cutout in the background. And it took me a while to be like, so I got to ask, like, what's up with your giant Megan cutout? And she's like, I can't get rid of it. It was in Grand Rapids for a season.
Yeah.
Like,
You
that's
have to come
true.
get it signed.
Yeah,
File
that's
the
true. I
players.
should.
Yeah.
It's got like the season
a good
info on
idea.
it, so I totally could.
That would
Bring,
be, that's a great idea.
bring it up to Traverse City. That would be the way to get it.
Yeah.
Are you
There
going
you
or
go.
no?
It's a camp.
Oh, we're going.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
So for
yes.
listeners outside of Michigan, you're learning a lot. You too will become Red Wings franchise super fans with us. But training camp is in a beautiful area upstate Traverse City, right along, the west side of the Mitten by Lake Michigan. And that is where we think we first met Nick in
Yeah.
passing, probably in a line somewhere. So, well, going back to Grand Rapids, I have to say the favorite memory of mine in terms of a theme night has to be Jurassic Park because we hear that there's going to be the giveaway with like the ripped up Jurassic Park jerseys. And I've always been a fan of that franchise of movies, just so over the top. I love it. So I convinced my husband to go, and it was kind of a last minute thing. But we get there, and I walk in, and there are giant animatronic dinosaurs that are like lifelike to the, well, I assume they feel like what dinosaurs would feel like. They've got like skin and scales, and they're just like wandering through the arena, and there's like people dressed in safari gear like telling the kids about, all the fun facts of dinosaurs, and there's like themed snacks and treat. I'm like, oh my gosh, Grand Rapids really does this up. It's incredible.
Yeah, they do that like the superhero nights too. They bring out the superheroes throughout the concourse to
Aw.
interact with the kids. But I remember was that Jurassic? Was that last season?
Yes.
Yep. So it was huge because there was even on one part of
Huge.
the concourse, there was a huge dinosaur that you had to like walk underneath to like go to another zone.
Yeah.
I brought my whole family to that game. So I have a bunch
Oh,
of nephews
nice.
and nieces. So we took them to that game, and it was hugely done, I would say.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you were there too. And we ended up being able to snag tickets right behind Grand Rapids net where you're in net twice. So I got to like wave at Kosa and like watch him this close. It was such a good experience. So that's one I'll never forget. So what are some of your favorite theme nights, Nick?
Ooh, theme night. So with my background, the way I run, like Brandon's very analytical, right? He's watching the game, he's dissecting the players. I'm here for the vibes. So it's
Yeah.
like I'm there. I love collecting the stuff. I love, obviously I watch the players too, but vibes, I'm trying to think like theme nights that have been like the Toasters night was a good one 2 years ago. That was huge. That happened to fall on Wing Wheel night as well. So it was like that was going on. Crazy fights. And that jersey, like I picked up a bunch of extra ones, and that jersey was just people are still wanting it, and like they love it throughout GR. So that's a good one.
Yeah, for our listeners, it's actually a flying toaster. Go look it up. It's amazing.
Wasn't it like a proposed name for them at one point?
It was.
Is that how that came about? Yeah.
Because
that's awesome.
The toaster strudel or the Pop-Tart was invented in Grand Rapids. So they used that for the flying toasters. And I wish they would bring this theme night back every year of like the proposed names from the past. And I thought they were going to do it last year, and they ended up passing. They did some weird, what was they called it was like Beer City team or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
A lot of breweries.
So nothing crazy.
Well, I'm so glad you two told me that because this whole time I'm just like, wow, that was random. Flying toaster. Okay, this makes so much more sense. I learn something every week on our pod.
It's good.
Yeah, exactly. All right, you brought up the players because they certainly do contribute to the vibes more than anything else. And you've certainly had some noteworthy ones the last few years in Grand Rapids. Let's talk what your expectations are for some of these kids, some of these young men. Let's start with Ammo because my family is a huge fan. You're clearly a huge fan going to see him in Flint and having him on the show, like 3 times. That's a guy who's going places. Like what are you expecting for Ammo this season?
So love the kid. He's incredible human, first and foremost. And then play for my home team was like that was super cool. So I just saw so much in him when he was in Flint. I was like, he's gonna be so good when he gets here. And his first year, he struggled, which he told us in that season, he's like, I'm still trying to learn everything. I'm still trying to figure everything out up here. It's different going from first line to fourth line and like how different it'll be. So last year he took off. He was injured for a lot of the beginning of the season too. We didn't know this. He played through the injury. He talked about it on the pod,
Yeah.
and because he looked good. And then we we ran into him at practice, and I'm like, "You playing this week?" And he goes, "No." And I'm like, and then I saw Dan
Mm.
Watson like walk around the corner, and I start running. Like, not approved to ask about player injuries off air or on air. It's just it's a weird thing that they have. So, I'm expecting him to just kind of run it back like he did last year. I hope this year he's more defensively sound. He's getting the opportunities on that first line. I think he probably gets a call up, this year. I
I-
don't think he's one of the first, but I think he does get a call up near the end of the season. I hope my worst fear is they trade him. That's like literally my worst
Oh
fear.
no.
Uh, but I think he has the ability. I think this year he plays the wing more than he does center, and I think that's his
Mhm.
path. Travis has finally convinced me, and now seeing it
Mhm.
on the ice, I think that's where he's going to be. So he's going to probably play more of the wing. Hopefully, he did well last year. We were tracking him. The amount of points he put up on the wing compared to what he put up in center, he was about the same. So,
Really interesting.
um,
His
yeah.
perspective on moving from center to wing is really interesting too, because I often think of forwards, and I don't know how you guys feel, but like as just able to just float or like play any position really. But he has been, which is I think unique, a center his entire career. So when Grand Rapids said, let's try you on the wing, like there was, he admitted, a bit of a learning curve because he is one who, is used to playing the puck and being able to go into the defensive zone and not having to get along the boards as often. And it was like a little bit of a different brain side that he had to use to be able to do that. But he's been successful at it. So it's interesting.
The first two games, you could really tell he was really out of it. You could tell he lost on the ice. It was super funny because I'm like, oh, he's so used to playing center and
Yeah.
like going back and he was out of position a couple times that first couple shifts, but he finally kind of figured it out. It got it, but yeah, it was funny those first two. But I think that really is the path. I mean, you've got Larkin up there with the wings, first line center. You've got Marco
Yeah.
center, and then you got Nate. And so it's just tough. It's like, okay, if you want to play, you want meaningful time, like you're gonna have to probably play the wing because that's what Detroit needs at this
Mhm.
point.
It
So
is. Yeah.
I think that's where it ends up.
Well,
So
he's incredibly self-aware, um,
oh, yeah.
wise beyond his years. You would never guess his age because he is just so self-aware and articulate and willing to admit where he needs to work. But I think like you do, he has a very bright future ahead of him because of that. Megan and I chatted with him at training camp last year in the autograph room, and that's right when he shaved his head and he came in and everyone, he was just like had this presence. And I said, I love your name, Amadeus, and he told us about his family and all their unique names. Like just such a good guy. So
His brother is actually playing in Flint this year. He got drafted
oh
last year, and I think this is the year he'll be playing for the Firebirds. So, it's there's two Lombardis, and I mix them up every time, and the first one is not the right one. So,
okay.
I'm not even gonna bother trying to throw it out there on here. But his brother does play for Flint, so if you want to check out a little bit more, like you feel watch his
Yeah.
brother at that team, and he makes it back. Every once in a while he'll go back and he'll go to Flint and he'll talk with the billets and he'll talk with the fans there,
Very
which I always thought was huge. I've got, still a lot of connections in Flint.
So you may
So
be back and forth again, is what you're saying. Maybe another wild year.
maybe that's off fair topic.
I have more, but I don't want to manipulate the whole conversation. Megan, anyone you're particularly
I
curious
have
about?
opposite end of the spectrum because he was someone I wanted to talk to because of a funny story, like sort of about him, but Austin Watson. So this is so weird. So I used to moonlight at Amazon, and you get bored when you're in there and you end up talking to people. And I'm talking to this young guy. He's probably 18, and he's a tall kid, and somehow hockey comes up, and he's like the most casual part of the conversation. He's like, "Oh yeah, my brother plays in the NHL," and I'm like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Who's your brother?" He's like, "Oh, you won't know him." I'm like, "Give it a shot."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's like, Austin Watson. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, I have his goal puck from New Year's Eve when he scored in Detroit and one of his sticks. He's like, "You have some of his stuff?" I was like, I do. Like, this is really weird, but it's his little brother. And I know the family dynamics are a little interesting, but he's like, "Yeah, Austin's my brother." I'm like, "Well, that's pretty wild." So I was dying to meet him to tell him, "Oh, I work with your brother," just to see what kind of reaction that would get. But he didn't end up coming in the autograph room during camp because I don't think he knew it was a thing. But yeah, I'm just curious what he's like. He got a bobblehead this year, didn't he too?
Yeah, he did get a bobblehead. This Austin Watt. Did you ask for any other like memorabilia from him? From his brother?
Oh, from his brother? I don't know.
Oh.
No, I mean I have what I have, so
You're like,
I
what else can
didn't
I
want to
get?
didn't want to bother anybody about that.
You have no, I mean, she has got so much. But Megan, wasn't that before we signed him? When did
I think it
Austin come to
was.
Detroit?
Yeah,
Because
because
Last
I was
season.
I was at that location at Amazon for a couple years, and I
yeah,
had his Ottawa stuff. I think he was still in
yeah.
Ottawa. So
But
this
that's
kid had thought there was no way on earth I knew who Austin Watson was. I was like, I know exactly who he is. I've got
yeah.
his goal puck in my house. Like,
And that's why it was so impressive because he
mhm.
wasn't Detroit. And she's like, yeah, I have his stick. And he's like, he plays in Ottawa. But that's so Megan to be like, yeah, actually, look in the
Dang
back of
on
my
it.
closet. Like,
Hang on.
yeah.
Let me get it out.
So the Watson added so much dynamic and pizzazz and obviously the strength and force that we needed when he played up in Detroit. But clearly, Amadeus Lombardi had a fantastic experience as a line mate with him because when he talks about playing with Watson, you can tell he calls him Waddy, right? You can tell like his eyes lit up, like he was excited to be on the ice with him. But the cutest thing I heard on your podcast, Nick, was I'd never heard him admit like he kind of scared him. He was a little bit nervous being around Waddy. He's like, don't prank him. Just leave him alone. Just. I'm like, so he really is like the same force in real life as you see on the ice.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mess with him.
Austin Watson is a very interesting player, I would say. It's the news when we signed up for PTO, Wings fans last year at this time, and I literally remember this. Everybody's freaking out. Who is this guy? What is he gonna do? Like, and I'm like,
Yeah,
he's a PTO player. Everybody chill out. He might not even make it through camp. So I
exactly.
had to eat my words. So there he is with the Griffins, and like I didn't know, like I didn't follow him, so I didn't like if I would have had a conversation with his brother, I'm like, yeah, I have no idea who your brother is. Like, cool, and that's super cool. I'm excited for you, but I don't know him. Sorry. So like I'm like this guy. He'll be what he'll be. Like who knows what
Yeah.
it's gonna be like. And then he gets to Grand Rapids, and he is absolutely fantastic. Love the guy. He is super scary to talk to. I will admit. He
I would expect nothing less. Like that's
yeah,
his vibe.
yeah, he's a tall dude. He's very muscular. Because like he's very strong looking. And he's got two teeth. And so he's a very burly guy. And yeah, you want to be very careful with the questions that you ask because he's very smart too, and he will correct you.
Yes.
Brandon got caught asking him a question. He goes, actually, I'm at 3 games now with a goal. So check your stats again. And Brandon's like,
Ooh.
uh, and Brandon's like, we're like we said, we're not media, qualified or
Yeah.
anything like that. So it was just like, okay, like you got to know your stuff when you're talking to Austin Watson. But he, like, I really liked him in the locker room this year. He was on a line a lot with him and Nate Danielson were line mates
Mm-hmm.
the entire year almost. And Waddy was really there to protect Nate. and to
Yeah.
make sure that nobody was going to mess with him. He was there to protect him, there to provide leadership and show him the ropes to being a professional.
Mhm.
And so like that was huge. And then also when he was there, he was a leader in the locker room. Not only like for the game wise, but after, like, we're in there. If he wasn't called for media, he was in the locker room talking with kids. They would bring kids down. He would sign stuff for them. He would take pictures with them. Like, he went out of his way, stayed late, like did all of that. And I'm just like, wow. I was like, I didn't say negative things about Austin Watson. I just didn't know who he was. I was like, he's a PTO guy. And there he was. Like, he was a huge difference for Grand Rapids. And I eat my words about it all the time. I say it on my own podcast. Like, I was so wrong about this guy. And it was just, he was so fantastic. And I'm glad that he's back here again this year, in the organization. If he's up with you guys in Detroit, or if he's down here with us, like, he was so, like, it was irreplaceable what he brought to the team.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my spiel on Austin Watson. Great
Love
guy.
it.
I love him, but he is scary. He is scary to go up to. So I definitely, like, when he was telling us, when Emma was telling us that, me and Ray were like, yeah, he is a scary dude to go talk to.
It's just
But
cute that his own teammate also is like, yep, he's a little scary. No, that's awesome. I think wherever he plays, he's gonna add some value. He knows the role that he plays. But you talked about, you fell in love with hockey in the 90s. He reminds me a little bit of that age of having partnerships with offensive players that you were there to protect. I mean, Yzerman went nowhere without protection, right? And I think it allows players like Danielson to shine and like to take more risk, if you will. So I would love to see a game with them on a line in Lombardi. That'd be great. I hope they
yeah,
stick. I know things change more often in terms of lineups in GR, but I hope I get to catch that.
we haven't dissected the lines yet. I think it's coming up. I know Travis is the big lines guy, and so he's always creating some crazy concoctions, and we kind of talked through it. So we're kind of on a weird timeline this year, as both him and I are both out the end of September. So it's
Okay.
gonna be a very interesting podcast with Brandon for 2 weeks.
We'll have to tune in for that episode.
He might
Should
need
be
you guys to spotlight in.
We'll give our 2 cents.
Yeah.
It'll be very different perspective. You'll come back and say, what do I have to undo here?
Yeah, replaced Travis or Nick and Travis with Megan
No,
and
just
Devin.
kidding. Would be funny. So I want to ask about the goalies I mentioned. Do you know much about Michael Pastava yet? I'm excited we gave him a contract.
Yes.
Do you know where he'll play? Thoughts?
Off air, on air. On air, we honestly, we don't know where anybody's playing.
Okay.
We really don't. Except for we know Costa will play here in GR.
Yeah.
But the backup position, I'm gonna call it the backup position, is an open contest for the moment. We don't know if it'll be Pastava. We don't know if it'll be Carter Guylander. We don't know. We really don't know who it'll be. Even if they sign somebody, I don't. Could you imagine them signing somebody? But
I can, because they keep doing it.
Yeah.
All the goalies.
It's that and defensemen is what we've found here at GR. Like, you guys send a lot of goalies and we send a lot of defensemen. It's crazy at that point. And I'm like, we need forwards. What are we doing? But Postava, like, he did really well in the Czech league. Young goalie. I think I'm excited. I think he'll be here. But I could see Carter, beating him out and being here, and Postava being down there, just to kind of get used to North American ice and to be the style of hockey that we play over here. But I could see him being a backup here. We definitely need a strong goalie backup here. The last 2 years, we had, Jack Campbell.
Campbell.
Yeah, last year, and then we had Husso too. So it was good. Like, and we had Nedeljkovic, so good people for Costa to kind of lean on and gain insight from. I may have misspoke about Nedeljkovic. I can't remember if he played the same time as Costa.
I don't know that they overlapped.
Yeah, I don't think they did. So, but he always had like a veteran guy to kind of lean on and rely on it throughout. And I think this is the year that they're like, Coast, like, it's you, like, it's time to sink and swim, kind of thing.
Yeah,
so, It'll be interesting. It'll be fun.
Yes, agreed. So for training camp every year, well, this is only my second year of going. So thus far, I like to make goalie sweatshirts and that are just, Megan and I get bored of just shopping at the retail store. So we like make our own things. And I just do like all the names of the goalies and that's the whole shirt. But my prediction this year was Gibson, Talbot, Kosa, Postava, Geelander. So we'll see if I have to do a redo and do like arrows on the side or something.
Then
But
you got
that's what it.
yeah, because then you got I forgot they signed another guy too, but I think he'll be in Toledo. He came from Penn State. He was a goalie who did really well. I'm trying to remember. I sorry, I don't remember the name, but he played at Penn State for 1 year, and then he played for Minnesota, I believe. So
Okay.
there's
Is he
another
under
goalie too.
contract?
Yeah, he's under contract.
Oh,
He's
good.
under a
Okay, good.
Toledo contract though, so
Okay,
little
interesting.
different. But he could be
Yeah,
he could make it up to GR at some point too.
it's gonna be fun to watch. Love it. I love when they have the competition. Goodness knows we need it.
I hate the chaos.
I would rather be good and solid and
Yeah.
just ready to roll.
Yeah.
Well,
I
yeah.
was ready for Trey to be here this year. I was so
Yeah,
stoked. I was
I
so ready.
know.
And yeah.
But as a Spartan alum, I'm also like I love him finishing his dynasty at state. Like, so I'll save him for next year's shirt.
Yeah. Yeah. He'll be here next year.
Yeah. Then it gives me something exciting to go watch at MSU. Wear my green. Well, I did. You mentioned Axel Sandin Pelika and Michael Brandseg Nygaard. They did come up the end of last season, and they played together, right? What
Yeah.
was that dynamic like? Did it change anything for the Griffins at that point?
It's so tough. I hate the way our season like kind of is because it's you play like this happens all the time. Oh, and I'll throw an Emmett Finney in there too.
Yes,
Because he
Finney.
came up at the end of the season as well. The these kids go through a grueling season. I think they were like the last guys to get their team was like one of the last teams to get into the playoffs, and they won their first round, and they went to a grueling long series in the second round as well. And then they come over to us, and they have to get adjusted to the time change. They have to get
Yeah,
adjusted to America and like where everything is and living and moving in, all during the last stretch of the season where we weren't doing well. So then you go to the playoffs and we still haven't really found our rhythm, right? Like not everybody is gelling, right? Because you've got
hmm
Finney coming in, you've got MBN, you got ASP, and then you got people coming back from the wings like Dominic Shine and Austin Watson. Like it was kind of chaotic. So like MBN, he started slow and then he started going in the playoffs, which was really where he found his game. And I think he finished with like 2-3 goals in 3 games. Like his style of play really matches with what Detroit's looking for and how we play in
good.
North America. So I'm hoping he's here like selfishly and like just professionally too. Like he should be here in GR this year. Um, he'll really be able to develop and grow. I am somebody that wants to cook the prospects longer
Mm.
than most. Like I remember when Edmonton was here, like I was watching him and Wings fans were just pounding the table. He needs to be here. He needs to be in Detroit. And I'm like,
Yes,
bro, you're not watching the games. You don't see this. Like he's not there yet. Give him some time.
interesting.
So like MBN, he should be here all this season. Kind of
Okay.
get that straight. Now ASP, I really thought like I think the conversation around him is really quieted down that he'll probably be here. There
Okay.
was a lot of conversation that he'll be in Detroit. He'll be there for the season to start. But I think he'll be here. I really think he'll be here. He needs a full
Okay.
season, I think, just to kind of get stronger.
Yep.
But him and Amadeus Lombardi on the power play was just fantastic. Like
Oh,
what he's out there, like ASP's out there. He's the skating, the moving, the shiftiness, like the shot, like everything was there. And it's like we've been missing this. This is like ammo on defense. Like that's how it
yeah.
was.
Amazing.
So it truly was changing, but you could kind of see him kind of as like we got into the playoffs and like as the playoffs were going, like he kind of slowed down and kind of got away from his style of play. I was like, I hate that. Like let the kid play the way he wants to because
Yes.
he's so gifted, he's so talented. So
Yeah. He'll adapt. Um, You nailed it though. There's most of us in Detroit, we just want the prospects to get a chance to play, but part of it, most of it is because we would rather see that than deal with the issues and the holes we have in at the NHL lineup. Like
Like
if
Justin
you're not
Holt.
going to
He's
I
so
see what
nice
you
though.
did there.
I
I see
don't
what
want to do that.
holes or holes.
Yeah.
Hall.
Yes, yes. No, that was funny. So yeah, I mean, if we're gonna have a really rough second, third, and fourth decor, we might as well just pull up the young guys and let them learn there. But I see your point. Like there is some development, and even like from a maturity level, I was talking to a girlfriend who is related to Lucas Raymond's manager. Okay. And she was telling me the cutest story of like when they weren't sure if he was going to start in GR or go right to the wings. He ended up going right to the wings, and Megan got his Griffins jersey that was never meant to be. But he called one day, his manager, and said, like, I need like, what do you put on your mattress here in the United States? And they had to pick him up and take him to Target and teach him about like sheet sets. Like a fitted sheet comes with a flat sheet. Apparently in Sweden they are separate. I don't know. It was this whole thing, but like they're kids, right? So they do need time just to like live on their own and like, figure it out. So
Get adjusted. I mean, they're 18. They're coming over from Sweden where
mhm.
they had family, they had friends, they had support, they had the language. And so it's like knowing that side of it and having them come over, like you kind of just need to give them a year. But then you end up like with a Michael Rasmussen thing, right? Like that
Mhm.
he could have, he's pretty much capped at his ceiling. He's not going to be any better in it. Maybe a couple seasons here in GR, he would have probably been a little bit further along in the career. So you kind of have to outweigh those differences. Now Raymond, like different situation, right? Like he
Yeah.
just came in and knocked on the door. So, but it's not a bad thing to have him here. It really isn't.
Yeah. No,
So,
that's a great perspective. We have a good friend who we see at all the games during warm-ups. She comes and stands with us, and she's arguably Emmett Finney's #1 fan. So we must, for her sake, Robin, if you're listening, hi. Thoughts on Emmett Finney? How did he do coming up?
this was Emmett's second year with us, kind of thing. So because this first year he got done with juniors and he came over to GR, and the plan was for him not to play. It was just to kind of observe, kind of get acclimated to the team, the organization, how we do things here. And he ended up playing, and he wasn't ready. He just
Yeah.
definitely was not ready to be here. And then last year, same thing happened. Juniors finished. Then he gets here and he looked a lot better. Still tried to pick up, the speed of the game and like the physicality of the game. But I'm excited. He's one with a lot of question marks right now of like, what
Mhm.
is he going to be? How is he going to be? Where is he going to be? What is he of a player? So he's definitely a guy that we have on the radar because we just don't have a whole lot of data. We haven't been able to watch him a whole lot.
Yeah,
So,
that's a good point.
yeah, I feel bad bringing him up, but yeah, we just don't have we don't have enough time with him to be able to see
Yep.
what he is. But I think last year he played mostly like third, fourth line
Yep. Okay.
in those roles. So, but it'll be exciting to
Okay.
see what he does this year.
And you think Nate Danielson will be up with us? I
I
say
hope.
us because we
Yeah.
live closer to Detroit, but this is all of us. This is
I hope not.
yeah.
Shocking answer. I hope
Yeah.
he does one more year here or gets called up like maybe halfway through the season.
Okay.
What I'm looking for Nate is like positionally, he's very good. Like his hockey sets, his hockey IQ is very good. He's in the right places at the right time. And his passing is freaking fantastic. There's a lot of times like the game's moving so fast, and I clip throughout the games as well. So I'm running the socials and we're watching the game at the same time. And so like I'll look up and I'm like, Brandon, who that was Nate, wasn't it? He goes, oh yeah, that was Nate. I'm like, that's what I figured. Like that pass just was that incredible. So he's got a lot. I just want to see that second gear. He started slow and people were like, what is going on with this kid? Like this is our freaking like top 10 draft pick here. And he's not doing anything. And the points slowly started coming, and he ended up outpacing Marco Casper for that year.
Mm,
And
wow.
you'll look at it and you're like, well, it was Marco's first year too. Marco had way stronger line mates. He had Berggren and Carter Mazer.
Oh
Like
yeah, what a line.
Nate's working with Austin Watson. No offense to Austin Watson again. And then I can't remember who was that. Oh, it was either Sheldon Dries or I can't remember the other guy's name at the top of my head. Like he was working with those guys. A little bit of different atmosphere there. I just want to see Nate take over, right? Like I
Yep.
want to see that
Yep.
second gear. Marco also played years in the in the Austrian league, in the men's league. So this
Okay.
was Nate's first year playing against men. He just needs to get stronger, needs to win the faceoffs, needs to just take that second gear. And a lot of people are like, why is he at the prospects game? He's like the biggest prospect there beside, I think Axel's on the list too.
Yep.
They want to see him take over. They want to see him just blow everybody out of the water. So I want to see that from him. I know he's not
Okay.
like the huge offense, but it's got to be there, right? If you're going to try to put him as the second center or third, possibly. I
Yes.
think he fits more second.
You have convinced me. You know it, Nick. I really wanted to see him moved up, but no, that makes a ton of sense. So we could go through everybody because this is so fascinating. We don't get to talk Griffins and prospects enough, and goodness knows we need them. So I'd love to continue, but we have been we've taken up a lot of your evening.
Okay.
Is there anybody else you wanted to mention specifically?
I would say keep an eye out for Shai Buyam this year.
Yes.
I
All
would
right.
say
Is he related to who were we talking about? The Buyam in
Minnesota.
last episode. Yes.
Mhm.
Are they
Zeev?
related?
Yeah.
Zeev.
Zeev's
Okay.
his brother. Yeah.
Brother. Okay. We were trying to remember that on the last episode, but okay, that makes sense.
Please don't tell him I'm about to tear apart his training camp jerseys to make them Wade Megan. Don't tell him.
Why?
She collects.
I collect Wade Megan, so sorry.
He's gonna
Nick's like bad decision.
yeah,
Don't
he's
tell
gonna he's gonna be he's a good prospect. I'm super excited for him. Like I always will focus on the defense and the goalies. I think he is being kind of overlooked with ASP coming in, but I
Mm,
think he is really we didn't have much expectation for him last season, and then he came in last season and he was running the power play. He was the quarterback. He was making
yeah.
great passes. Towards the end of the season, he was kind of fallen a little bit. I think he hit the wall. Like college, you don't play as many games as you play in the AHL, especially 3 games a week. So I think that kind of took a toll on him, but I'm really excited to see his play this year. Going into last season, we were big on 2-0 and Bollinder. We were like,
Yep.
you guys should be making the next step. You guys are the first pairing. And they underperformed what we expected.
Mhm.
So having Shai come in, like especially against like Brogan Rafferty, Josiah Didier, we had a ton of veteran defensemen, and I feel like he really did carve out a spot. And then even Anton at the end, like coming in too. So
Good.
very excited for Shai. I don't want people to sleep on him. He is a guy that I'm excited to watch this season. That's not
And
a
he's
big prospect.
yeah, we will keep an eye on him because certainly his brother Zeev is getting a ton of notoriety. So hopefully it's in the genes. All right. Anybody else we missed, Nick? I mean, obviously we missed a lot, but we might have to have you back for part 2.
Yeah, nobody I can think of. We, for prospect wise, people that we should be paying attention to. You guys know
Mhm.
Dominic Scheid,
Yeah.
big MVP of our team for the last 2 years,
And
and
he gets a bobblehead this year.
he gets a bobblehead this year too. That's why I was like, we talked about Austin Watson and his bobblehead. We got to talk about
Yeah.
Shine and his.
Yes.
But yeah, nobody I can think of off the top of my head. Maybe as we get closer, we did sign some guys, and we didn't sign some others that were
Yeah.
important. But John Leonard is a good addition. I'm excited to see him again this year or have
Okay.
him on the team. He was a good player for Hershey last year. I believe it was Hershey. So. But I don't think he'll be like a Red Wings radar kind of guy. So,
Okay.
but yeah, I think we named a lot of the big names. Obviously you'll get Costa this year too.
I know. Well, I'm saying it better be for at least 10 games. It better be. He
Yeah.
needs a chance. I by happenstance was at the Buffalo game where he made his NHL debut. Obviously that was not on my radar and of course, because I always make my husband sit with me like right by where we're in net twice, so I can two chances to watch our goalie up close. And so we're like, it's happening, it's happening. So I told Close I was like a proud big sister, and I actually showed him my camera roll because I had like 150 pictures of like I'm like, if you want these, I can drop you a Google album because I mean, yeah, it was pretty funny. So
That's amazing. We
yeah.
had him on the pod like a week before, and I was like, oh, we should have waited 1 week. 1 week. I couldn't be on it, so I didn't even get a chance to talk with him. So
Oh my gosh. Well, we were dying because for a while he was, you'd see Instagram pictures of him like spotted in airports with like a suitcase. Like it might happen this weekend. We had no idea. And then it was a total surprise because sadly, who's got pulled that game, but it worked out. We pulled out the W.
it's huge too.
It
What
was
a
huge.
crazy game it was.
I know. And I was right there. It was wild. The people in Buffalo thought we were insane for the amount we were screaming. I'm like, you don't know, this is such a big deal. You should all go buy game pucks. This man's going to make it, and you're going to be so glad you did.
I don't. Brandon had that much belief in him. He got a vintage Detroit Costa jersey before they created him. Like he just custom made it. He asked Costa before. He's like, "What's your number going to be in Detroit?" And he went out and got it.
I
Yeah.
love it.
So
That
they're
was me
big on
with Alex
Costa.
Lyon before we signed him in Detroit, and he picked a number, and sadly, he did his part for 2 years. But
Yeah. I can root for him in Buffalo.
yes, there you go. At least it's not a far drive. All right, Megan, anything else that we wanted to cover with Nick before the season starts?
I can't think of anything. We just need to
Okay.
get going here because there's not much happening.
No, we will we will see you in Traverse City, right? You'll be up there this year? Or no, you're TBD?
To be determined. I'm trying to figure it out. So yeah, I hope to be.
Okay.
I'll say that. So hope
Okay,
to
well,
be up
let us
there, and
know.
then we'll be at the red and white game for sure. So
Definitely. That's going to be fun. So, listeners, our annual scrimmage at the end of Traverse City usually happens at camp, but they're moving it this year from Traverse City down a couple of hours to Grand Rapids to have it at the Griffins Arena, Van Andel South. Yeah. But they're doing a big to do. So there's a bunch of alumni coming. And I think part of it is because, it's obviously the Red Wings centennial year, but in Grand Rapids 30th, right? I believe.
30th year.
Yeah. So it's just a big year.
They used to do the red and white game here in Van Andel, and then it, for whatever reason, it got moved to it got moved back to Travers. So it's good to have it back. It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm excited, and it's like less than 2 weeks away, I feel, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, the 21st. So yesterday was 2 weeks. So it'll be nuts. Yeah. I'm excited.
All right. Well, we'll definitely be there. So hopefully we can, say hi and thank you in person for being a special guest for us and doing yet another podcast this week.
No worries. Thank you for having me on, and we'll definitely have to sync up at the red and white game. And then if I'm up at Travers, I'll send you, we'll sync up at there as well. So
awesome.
Thanks for having me on. And I'm sure our partnership will continue throughout the season.
Thanks, Nick. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Here we are in the third period.
Yes, it's been a while since we've been able to say we made it to the third period in a real game. I can't wait for that to happen.
For sure.
I've got summer brain where it's like, but when you're going back to school and you haven't read in 3 months, I shouldn't admit that that was me as a teenager, but you have to like take a step back and remember. That was me today. I'm like, God, we know all this, but it's just been a minute.
It's definitely not fresh on top of mind at all right now.
No.
That's why we go to training camp, though. That's how we get warmed up and get going.
Yeah,
get to see everybody,
say, especially for you because
see all the names. Yeah, I mean, and that definitely was always kickoff for the season for me. I've been doing it for, I don't know, 10, 11 years. I'm not even sure. So in some capacity, I've always been there. So it's a great way to warm up and get things going every year.
So it's training for us too.
Mm-hmm.
Working the hockey brain muscles. How funny is it that we sat right in front of Nick at training camp last year?
It's pretty wild. I don't even know. I mean,
yeah,
good seats, right? Like, of course,
Yeah,
we should have
yeah.
figured somebody fun would be behind us. But yeah, it's always a good time. I'm
Yes.
excited for the red and white game to be in Grand Rapids. And I do remember what he was talking about, how it used to be in Grand Rapids.
Mm.
And I think that they changed it just before I moved here because it's always been in Traverse City since I've been here, I believe.
Okay. So that's a long time because I think you might even be at like 12 years of training camp now.
Yeah, I know that I count 1 year. Well, there was one lockout year, so there was no camp.
right.
And one, I was just a spectator. And then after that, I was always a volunteer in some capacity.
That's awesome. Well, hopefully we see him up there, but if not, we have the red and white game, and Grand
For sure.
Rapids is also a very fun city. So we have that to look forward to. I can't believe it's only 2 weeks away.
Let's go.
Let's go. And we need to tune up our hockey brain minds.
For sure. I mean,
Can I talk?
what an amazing wealth of knowledge for Grand Rapids. It's definitely something that I've never really had access to because I feel like everything is so Red Wings oriented for me. So
Mhm.
it's super interesting to talk to someone and get perspective of people that are really like there in Grand Rapids. Can't always do that.
Yeah, pretty cool that they got to be part of the media squad
that's
this year,
crazy.
too.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like Nick was humble, saying, well, I didn't study it. I'm not trained, but he knows what he's doing. Like,
I
he
think so.
certainly knows this team
Yeah.
inside and out.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to meet his co-hosts pretty soon, too.
Yeah, I'm
But
dying to meet the Toledo guy because I want to pick his brain about something that in my mind is like Toledo lore, and it is actually goalie. And I don't even remember his first name, but and I probably won't even say it right, but his last name was Lurg, and he was number 1. And I feel like there is lore around that I am not aware of, but I want to know.
ooh, I'm intrigued, Megan. We need to follow up. We may have to send him a note and have a follow up for next week. I love a good hook. So, listeners, you'll have to come back if you want to know the Toledo lore with potentially Lurg, the Lurg lore.
Lurg. Lerg. Number 1.
You teach me new things all the time, my friend. Okay. I know it's late and you need to eat dinner. So let's leave our listeners with a style tip.
Okay.
You can always tell when it's getting late because my lighting gets really bad. In my study, I still have yet to get one of those nice facing.
Little tiny.
Yeah.
He's a little guy.
Yeah. That's
He's
what I
working
need.
hard, though.
Yes. All right. Because we were talking about Kosa today, obviously, and I mentioned the time I got to see him in Buffalo, I thought I'd share a shadow box I made on Saturday. Let me grab it. Excuse me one moment. I'm back. So an idea for a style tip. If you are at a game and get some little trinkets or mementos, I learned this from Megan. Save everything because you never know what's going to be a little memento that you can style cute in your house in some little way that will make you smile when you look back on it. Everything from wristbands at a game to ticket stubs to receipts. I got a picture of Kosa when he was making his NHL debut after the fact. But at the game, I had our 2 hard copy tickets printed at the ticket booth. Normally, you just use your phone nowadays, right? But I convinced them to let me get printed tickets because I wanted to make a shadow. That was all Megan. And then I got a warm-up puck and I had Kosa sign it later on so I could put together this cute little shadow box of the memory of his NHL debut. And I think it turned out well, although the puck keeps rolling around. So I need to I need to get that to sit in place. So you can really come up with any cute little shadow box ideas. Amazon has every size you can imagine. Note these larger posters are not 8x10s. I had to order a couple before I figured it out. They're a little larger, but it worked out in I think it's 11x14 is this size. But you also had me keep, when we went to the Detroit Economic Club Red Wings luncheon, the Mickey Redmond's little nameplate. They were just going to throw them away or recycle them. And you're like, grab that. I'm like, really? Should I? And I am so glad I have it. So you're the idea woman. All the creativity.
Some days.
Well, I love it. So I was excited to show you that, Megan. And we hope that you all enjoyed today's episode with Nick. I know I certainly did. And I couldn't be more excited to go to a walleye game this season. If we can get tickets, they sound like they're hot commodities.
Definitely dying to get back there. It's a fun time.
Awesome. Well, we hope you'll tune back in next week. We'll be up in Traverse City at training camp talking to you. So look forward to chatting with you then. If you haven't yet, please go ahead and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts. We'd love it if you leave a comment and let us know what you think, any predictions for next season, or anybody else you'd like to see be a guest on Hockey Style.
See you later.